Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am an empath as well as an intuitive tarot reader here on YouTube. So it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this week's reading, which is all about your month of April 2022. I know that there has been quite a pause from the last monthly predictions that we did. Some of you may know, some of you may not, especially if you're newer to this channel. I was in the process of moving and then I became sick, and so I was ill for quite a period of time as well. And so yeah, the monthly predictions they have been kind of on hold for quite a few months, but we are back and super excited to do this spring inspired monthly predictions for you. So we have 3 piles to choose from, and as you can see, we also have some gemstones again. I just felt drawn to attach them to the piles this time. But the gemstones and the piles go as follows. So for pile number 1, we have the green opal, which is unrefined. Well, all of them are, but anyway. The first one is the green opal. With pile number 2, we have this piece of raw selenite. And finally, for pile number 3, we have this piece of fluorite. So these are your, sorry. There we go. So these are the piles. Take your time. As I always say, I really think it's so incredibly helpful to just take a few deep breaths and really calm yourself, really center yourself, come into this present moment as you are choosing, and that will allow your intuition to speak to you the loudest. So whether it's some sort of nudge that you feel, whether it's some sort of gut reaction, whether it's a visual thing that you feel specifically, like your eye is specifically drawn to one specific pile, or whether it's like an what's the word? You know, whether you hear something in your head, you may hear a number, you may hear like some other symbol or signal that will alert you to the correct pile for you. Just, you know, whatever works for you, and in whatever way your intuition speaks to you, follow that voice, follow that guidance, and you will not go wrong. So as I always say as well, you may choose as many piles as you want. You can watch all of them if you so please, but generally it tends to be that like one pile is going to be resonating with you the most, and yeah, there's one specific pile usually that will be like your pile. And because it's still a general message, if none of the messages really feel like they resonate with you, or you're not really recognizing anything, that they don't sound like they're going to be your messages or that they apply to your life, then it might just be that it's not your reading, and maybe there aren't any messages for you in this reading, and that's absolutely okay too. We have some amazing, really talented readers on YouTube, and also you can always come back and check back next week because it might be that next week's reading will have specific channelings for you as well. So anyway, that's the intro part done. Take your time, and whenever you are ready and you know which pile you want to watch, you can go into the description box down below and you can click on the correct timestamp, which will take you to your reading. So happy choosing, and I will see you in just a bit. Hello, pile number 1. You chose this beautiful green opal stone, and oops, did not mean to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna put the stone over here, and yeah, let's focus on the cards. I hope you're all doing really well and that your month of March was enjoyable. But yeah, I guess I'm sure that we're all excited about the month of April and spring, and seeing what sort of new energies we are going to be getting into. But the way that this reading is going to go, we have 3 sort of separate sections. So we're first going to start off with these 3 oracle cards, and these oracle cards will show us the general energy of the month of April for you. Next, we're going to move on to the tarot portion, which will give us a more specific overview of your areas of life, which are work and finances, relationships, both platonic and romantic, and your general well-being. And then we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards, which will be like last important pieces of guidance or information from spirit that you need to know about your month of April 2022. I don't know why I keep like forgetting the actual name of the month. I did that as well when I was shuffling and prepping the cards. It just kept happening over and over. So anyway, but let's start with the oracle cards and see what the general energy is going to be like. Okay, we're starting off with material and spiritual prosperity. Wow. Okay, interesting. We also have material harvest. And finally, we have trapped in fear. Okay, very interesting energies. Okay, so I kind of feel like your month of April 2022 is going to be like somewhat polarizing. And I'm kind of getting the sense that clearly with both of these cards here, there is going to be some sort of like material success that you're going to have, or you'll be seeing some sort of reward, some sort of results, some sort of like long awaited outcome of something. Most likely it's like it's the result of all of your hard work that you have been putting into in the previous months, that you have been working towards until now or so far. So I wouldn't really be surprised if you like get some sort of big check, or you get some sort of promotion, or you get some sort of like a bonus at your place of work. Or if you are self-employed, it could be that you gain some sort of like new clientele, or that your sales numbers go up. It just looks like there's definitely going to be some sort of like reaping of rewards in the month of April when it comes to your finances or the sort of material side of life. But now I'm looking at this trapped in fear, and it almost feels like the first inkling that I got was that it could be that this like success that you're having is actually going to be triggering this sense of anxiety or fear within you. And I kind of get this like, I almost get the sense that it's like you're afraid to lose it, or you're afraid to experience lack. And it's so interesting because I feel like you are actually safe, or you're actually kind of like more secure or more stable than you realize. Or yeah, it feels like your foundation is actually much more sturdy, but there could be some sort of like anxieties about your finances, or about your sort of your future as well, more specifically when it comes to like your financial well-being, or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, it feels like there is some sort of fear of losing that prosperity attached to whatever the success is. But yeah, I don't know, I was trying to kind of like tap into what else this fear could be attached to, but I generally feel that it's somehow something to do with like your safety, or your security, and especially like your physical and your material security. So yeah, that's why I feel like it's kind of a polarizing month, because you are going to be experiencing something actually very, very positive, something very uplifting, and just, yeah, just enjoyable, honestly. But for some reason, there is some fear attached to it. And again, I mean, that's just like the strongest feeling that I was getting, but it could very well be that this fear is like related to a completely different area of life. Maybe your finances and your work and your career are solid, but maybe there is some sort of fear when it comes to opening up to other people. Maybe there is some sort of fear regarding like traveling somewhere that you've wanted to go, or actually maybe using the money that you have, or just like putting yourself in some sort of new situation, or like, yeah, trying something new. Anyway, I feel like we're gonna get a better understanding once we look at the tarot cards as well. But honestly, I feel like the general energy of April is going to be, yeah, I don't know why, I keep getting the word polarizing. So there's some aspect that is going to be very, very good for you and very prosperous, very abundant, very enjoyable. And then there is another aspect that is going to be possibly causing some fears or anxiety to sort of prop up for you. But I don't know, I feel like you're actually much more safe than you think. Anyway, so let's look at the tarot cards now, and let's start off with your financial and your what's the word? Your work and your finances, that area of life. Then we're going to look at relationships, and finally your general well-being. So we're starting off with the Daughter of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Next we have the Mother of Wands. Sorry, this is like the Page of Swords, and this is like the Queen of Wands. And the Ace of Pentacles. And finally we have the Sun and the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, that's kind of that's actually pretty interesting, considering what we were just talking about. But anyway, so starting off with your work and finances, we have the Daughter of Swords, or the Page of Swords, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed. It's very interesting that we're getting the Page of Swords specifically, because as I was talking about the general energy and sort of describing this feeling that I kind of got the sense that you will be sort of somewhat like too much in your head when it comes to like your security or your financial well-being and those types of things. And it's interesting that these two cards are kind of reflecting almost the same thing. I feel like with the Daughter of Swords or the Page of Swords, it's almost like I feel like you will be sort of seeing your financial situation much more critically than it actually is. Because the Page of Swords is very much like somewhat like standoffish and somewhat like it's a very analytical, it's a very critical and like just like trying to make sense of things. Like it's that kind of curious and exploratory energy, but it is somewhat like hostile. I feel like out of all of the pages, it's the most like hostile and standoffish energy. And so especially when it comes out with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it almost feels like there is just too much like kind of negativity or too much fear tied up in this like work and finances section. And again, we didn't get like any, like it could have been any other card here in this work and finances section, but you got the Ten of Pentacles. And that to me tells me that like you are actually like good. You are actually okay and you are actually safe. But you, again, I feel like there's this certain way of seeing your situation or your perspective that is going to be sort of challenging for you next month. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of like how you approach or how you look at your sense of finances. And I mean, for some of you, it's actually like a positive thing, because I feel like it may push you to like save up more or be more responsible when it comes to your money or when it comes to spending. It might actually like usher in some very, very positive and financially helpful habits. But I feel like for others of you, it might just cause you like unnecessary stress. So just be mindful of that, okay? Now, another thing that I'm feeling here is that it might not be for all of you, but I definitely feel that for a lot of you, the month of April is going to be bringing in this new like sense of like you wanting to focus on increasing your well-being or increasing your finances. So I feel like you could be starting to like come up with new ways of like saving money, investing money, sort of I just heard like building interest or building some sort of interest. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But it feels like your focus is very much going to be on like increasing your fortune or increasing your sort of safe space or like your reserves, your money reserves. I feel like your focus is very much going to be on like increasing what you already have and building upon what you already have. And maybe even again for some of you, like making money work in your favor rather than you making some sort of or doing some sort of work for money. So I just feel like it's very much going to be one of those months for you that your focus is very heavily going to be on your material side of life. And I mean, we saw that from the from these cards too. 2 out of the 3 cards were talking about like this pentacle energy, the money, the physical, the material side of life. So it's clear that that's going to be a big focus for you. Also, I do want to say that it could be that for some of you, there is going to be like some sort of bigger splurge or like something that is going to be requiring more money, and I feel like you'll be very, very like careful about it or very very like analytical about it. It might actually be one of the reasons why this like fear gets propped up in you, because there might be something that like requires you to sort of I'm sorry, I can't think of like a normal expression, so I'm just gonna say like cough up more money. And I know it sounds so like, it just sounds so silly, and I'm sorry about that, but that's literally the only expression that kind of came to my mind right now. So it could be that something is requiring you to pay up more money than you were expecting, or that you were sort of taking into consideration, or I feel like you were planning on something a bit less, and so that might be something that kind of like really like freaks you out or really stresses you out and makes you a bit worried. And I also feel like, okay, I'm getting so many different things, so yeah, I don't know, clearly it's going to be a different month for you when it comes to finances. And I also feel like for some of you it could be that there is some like some sort of pay rise or like promotion or like a position with more responsibility, something like that that will be offered to you. But it could be that you're like kind of scared about it, or it's something that like makes you a bit wary, and you might sort of question it, or you might go like back and forth on it, create like a pros and cons list, whether you should actually accept it or not. So yeah, just generally speaking, whatever the case, I feel like the area of work and finances for you in the month of April is something that is going to like sort of make you go into your head a lot. It's going to push you to sort of come up with like new ways of going about your financial situation, and really like yeah, I just feel like it's going to spark a lot of like mental activity for you, and it's going to be on your mind a lot. So again, just something to be like aware of. But moving on to your area of relationships. So we have the Mother of Wands or the Queen of Wands in reverse with the Ace of Pentacles. So the first thing I'm definitely feeling is that if you are resonating with Queen of Wands energy, this more fiery, more like sort of spunky, but also like very like passionate and very creative. If that's the kind of energy that you resonate with, regardless of like your gender, okay, then I feel like there could be some sort of new possibility or new opportunity coming your way when it comes to relationships. It could be meeting someone new as a friend, or it could also be meeting someone new as like a romantic interest, if that's something that you are looking for. But I feel like there is some like, again, some fear when it comes to that, because normally when the Queen of Wands comes out upright, she's very bold, she's very sure of herself, she's very confident, she doesn't shy away from anything, and she has this huge energy. And I'm using the pronoun she because it's a feminine energy, but again, I do want to make it super clear, it doesn't mean that you have to be female yourself. Or that the person who is approaching you has to be female. It's just feminine energy. And again, if you resonate with this, then I feel like it's something that is going to be sort of coming up for you, or you may experience these feelings. It's just more like shy and more reserved when it comes out in reverse. So yeah, especially if you are single, or especially if you have been kind of leading a more quiet social life for a longer period of time already, I feel like this new opportunity that is going to be coming your way, it may make you a bit anxious. It may make you shy away from that like opportunity a bit. But just be mindful of it, because if you actually are interested in like starting something new, or like embarking on a new journey with someone, you know, if you're actually longing for a partner, or even a new friend, or someone to like join your soul family, that kind of thing, then just be mindful of like not pushing it away too much, because again, I keep getting dragged back to this fear energy over here. And so it does feel like, even though there is a lot of opportunity and like new possibilities, in different ways in which I feel like the universe wants to reward you, but it could be that with like your own self-talk or your own mindset, you may be sort of tempted to like push it away or shy away from it. So yeah, I feel like your mindset and your perspective and your thought processes are going to have a lot of power and a lot of sway in the month of April. So again, just be mindful of how you react to things, how you respond to things, how you think about things. So yeah, I do want to say that. But if this person, this feminine energy is not you, or you don't really resonate with it, then it could be that if this is someone around you, a person that you know, this fiery feminine that I was talking about, and especially if that person has, if you've sort of like become a bit distanced from them, or if there's been some sort of lag in your communication, if there's been any sort of like issues when it comes to your relationship, again, whether this person is tied to you romantically, whether this person is tied to you platonically, or in any other way, I do feel like with this Ace of Pentacles, there is a potential for a new, fresh start with this individual. There is a potential for like making amends or turning a clean slate, and just sort of like working it out with them, if that's something that you want. So again, I do feel like there is so much opportunity that is available to you in April, and it kind of all comes down to whether you want to actually make use of those opportunities or whether you don't. And it's like, you are free to make whatever choices you want. You are free to say no. You are free to just stay where you are. And if you're content with that, that's absolutely your prerogative. But if you want something new, and if you want to sort of break out of like a certain rut, or like the way that things have always been, and you are excited to explore something new and open up to new experiences, then I feel like saying yes might actually be quite an interesting journey for you. But anyway, I do feel like there is going to be some sort of like attention that is targeted at you. And I do feel like even if it's not like romantic interest, even if it's just someone that you know, even if it's just a sibling or a friend who wants to sort of like draw you out of your shell a bit, or draw you out of that like space where maybe you have been putting so much focus on your work and on like securing your financial well-being, and maybe you have sort of not been very active socially for a while, then yeah, it could be that there is just some sort of invitation that comes your way, or some sort of offer that is going to be presented to you to do something cool, or to do something like just something for the soul, and something for the senses as well, and not just be kind of all in or only focused on like the responsibilities and like everything that sort of goes with like focusing on your career. So yeah, just generally speaking, whoever is going to be interested in you, or whoever is going to be offering you this sort of opportunity to do something, or to draw you out of your shell, yeah, I feel like it has a lot of potential to turn into something much more meaningful, and something that that actually benefits you in the long term as well. So just, yeah, something to consider. But finally, looking at your general well-being, I mean, we're starting off with the Sun, which is like the best card in the whole deck. And we also have the Eight of Cups reversed. So I definitely feel like with the Sun being here, that you are going to be feeling more energized, you're going to be feeling more hopeful, you're going to be feeling more enthusiastic and more motivated. You may actually even, for some reason, I just felt like you may actually start exercising again, or paying more attention to your health, paying more attention to your just like moving more and being more out in the sun, or being more outside and getting more fresh air, putting more like focus on just your whole vitality. So that's definitely something that I'm feeling here with the Sun. And I feel like especially with the Eight of Cups reversed here, it could be that like you may pick up some sort of like habit, or some sort of like lifestyle choice that you maybe at one point sort of discarded, or that you didn't really feel like doing anymore. So I feel like you're going to actually have the energy to pick that up again, especially if it was something that like fed into your health, or your like emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being. Again, it could be like a meditation routine, it could be like yoga or any other form of like exercise, it could be I don't know, reading or doing whatever it is that you maybe at one point did sort of regularly, and that made you feel better, but that maybe at one point that you sort of stopped doing for whatever reason. So that's definitely the case for some of you, that I feel you sort of picking that up again. But But I do also want to say, I feel like generally you're going to be feeling a lot better than you have in the past months. But with the Eight of Cups coming out over here in reverse, I also do want to say that again, I'm sort of getting this tie-in with fear. It's almost like you may feel tempted to sort of stay in like some kind of comfort zone of yours, or like not try new things, or not like experiment with new things. There is this very big like draw, or very big desire to hold on to something, that makes you feel safe. And for some reason the word safety keeps like coming up. So yeah, I definitely feel like those types of thoughts and the like things that make you feel secure, things that make you feel safe are going to be sort of almost ruling your month of April, even though I feel like the universe is sort of trying to persuade you to sort of try new things. And I feel like other people are going to be trying to persuade you to sort of try new things and give something new a go. And I feel like it's actually like a super exciting month, or it has the potential to be a super exciting month, but it is really all in your own hands. And it really comes down to whether you want to open up to those opportunities and sort of put yourself out of your comfort zone and change some things up, or whether you want to stay where you are and like turn those things down. So again, but just like, if that's the case, if you feel more drawn to like turning those opportunities down and staying where you are, I just feel like it would be a good decision to just like ask yourself why. Like, why are you so afraid, or what are you so afraid of? And just sort of unpacking those fears, because it could be that the fears that are sort of driving those decisions, maybe they are actually like unrealistic, or maybe they are actually not as sort of substantial as you may be feeling. So again, I just feel like being mindful of your headspace and your mindset is going to be a good idea in the upcoming month. But let's look at the last sort of messages from Spirit. We're going to close the reading out with these oracle cards and see, what do you need to know about your month of April 2022. Oh my god, oh my goodness. Okay, I love this. We have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. This is crazy because we were just talking about it. We were just going over those sorts of like fears and the thoughts and everything like that are seemingly going to be cropping up for you in the month of April. So again, I feel like the universe is clearly urging you to sort of have more fun and to sort of lighten up a bit and enjoy life more, and just give yourself the space and the freedom to explore more. But yeah, anyway, okay, let's keep going. Sorry, I just noticed, I know it's kind of random, but I just noticed that on this card, the person is like standing behind a, well, it's not a fence, but you know what I mean. It's like they are clearly sort of safe in their own, like, not even garden, but on their terrace or whatever this is, right? And they are overlooking at all of this like expansive land. And then on this card as well, we can see that the bars that are sort of sheltering this person. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the universe is sort of very, very clearly pushing you in a direction. But anyway, let's keep going. We also have polar bear, nurture. Allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. Oh my goodness, this is kind of crazy. This is insane. I mean, this card is perfect. It is actually perfect. Again, it's talking about those anxieties and worries. Again, the whole fear that we have been talking about this whole reading. I just feel like the universe is like assuring you that you don't really have to be as worried and as anxious, because I do feel like things are okay, and the universe is supporting you and your spiritual team is supporting you, and actually things are quite stable and quite secure for you. But I do also understand, trust me, I get it. Like sometimes our minds just like almost have a life of their own, and it's very difficult to like quiet down those thoughts and to get out of that negative spiral that like draws us in and stops us from doing things. So I just feel like the universe is asking you to sort of be gentle with yourself during that process and allow those emotions to come up, allow them to surface, but then also find ways to like let them go, find ways to sort of ground them, or you know, just yeah, allow them to be sort of you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I can't think of the word again. And I mean, I also figured it out because Mercury, I think, is in Pisces, so that's why I've been struggling so hard with my speaking and expression. But anyway, okay, we also have fire, and yeah, okay, with this, I definitely feel like the universe is saying that, like, if you allow something to like expand, if you allow something to fester and you don't like deal with it, I feel like it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it's finally like blown out of proportion. So with this fire, and I again almost feel like the universe is asking you to be mindful of like what you allow to take up space within you. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it worry? Or is it excitement? Like, how are you going to package it for yourself? Because you can turn fear into excitement very easily. They are almost like two sides of the same coin. So it all comes down to perspective. And that's why I feel like the whole mindset thing is so important for you in the month of April. Because your mindset is the only thing that can like completely change the way that you experience the month, depending on how you choose to see something, how you choose to view something and some experiences. So yeah, again, I feel like that festering energy, it can become really, really powerful if you let it. So again, just be mindful of like what you are nurturing, what you are feeding into, and what you are allowing to grow within you. Okay, we also have giraffe spirit, see the big picture. Okay, so yeah, I feel like again, this is all about like zooming out. This is all about getting out of your head, getting out of those like immediate like reactive thoughts that we get, and just sort of calming ourselves down, taking a few deep breaths and reminding us like where we actually are, where we are actually headed, what is like going on in our lives on a bigger scale of things, right? Because sometimes we can get stuck in the nitty-gritty and feel like everything is going wrong, but maybe it's just like we've just had like a really bad day, or you know, like there have been some sort of disappointments in like one area of life or one specific thing, and we sort of globalize the whole experience and think like, oh my God, everything is falling apart. My life is just going in like a completely wrong direction, or nothing is working out for me, or something like that, you know? It's very easy to get stuck in that sort of mindset. Again, our thoughts are super, super powerful, and they create our reality. So just, I feel like the universe is kind of like constantly pointing at the same thing, which tells me that your thoughts are going to be incredibly powerful in April. And finally, we have conclusions are within reach with the full moon eclipse. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I actually absolutely adore that we have this card, which like you can see the full moon over here, and then you can see the moon over here as well. And I mean, this one is talking about an eclipse, which is all about like powerful change. And we also had this dance with life, which is also talking about change. So I do feel like there are going to be like pretty cool results coming in, pretty cool rewards coming in, pretty cool, like, again, opportunities and things that are sort of being offered to you, or things that will be available to you. But it all comes down to whether you want to grab hold of them or not, because yeah, it's clear to me that the universe is ready to give you something. Again, as I was saying, because you have done a lot of work, you have put in so much effort and energy into making those things come to life. And so now it's just a question of like, are you brave enough to actually accept them? Are you brave enough to see where the success leads you, and how your life is going to be changing if you allow these opportunities to fully take you to like new places? And again, if you don't want to do that, that's absolutely up to you as well. So you have free will, right? This is your life. You get to do what you want to do. But this is just what Spirit is sort of urging you to think about, urging you to consider, and yeah, that's all this is. But anyway, oh my goodness, pile number one, this was so much fun. I think that you are going to have quite an amazing April. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and also just, you know, sharing your energy. If you enjoyed this, if you like this reading, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It would mean so much, and it would help my channel out immensely. I would also appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and join my little feather tribe if you want to see more of these readings, and if you enjoy hanging out with me. And also, if this reading resonated and you felt like it was talking about you, then I would love it if you let me know in the comment section too. But just a quick side note as well, I have an Amazon wish list that I have added in the description box, and if you feel like you have gotten something really meaningful, something like truly insightful and helpful from my readings, and you wish to support my channel some way, then you can go through the wish list and gift me a tarot or oracle deck. I have added some decks that I would love to add to my collection and use on this channel. So if that's something that you feel like doing, then that's an opportunity for you. But please don't feel pressured into like needing to give something back. I honestly just appreciate you being here, but if any of you feel the desire to do that, to give back in a more tangible way, then that's like an opportunity for you. But anyway, I don't know how many times I've said that. That's it, and I hope that you have an amazing April 2022. I hope that you really enjoy yourselves, and if I don't see you in any of the other piles, then have a good one, and hopefully I'll see you soon in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You chose the selenite, or this piece of unrefined selenite, I should say. I'm going to put it over here so that we could still see it in the frame. So I hope that you're all doing really well, and I thank you for being here and sharing your energy with me, spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. So the way that this reading is going to go, jumping straight into it, we're going to first look at these 3 oracle cards, and these will tell us about the general energy of the month of April 2022. What is your April going to be generally like? And then we're going to get more specific. We're going to look at some tarot cards that will tell us about your area of work and finances in April, your area of relationships, both platonic and romantic, and your area of your general well-being. And then we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards that Spirit wants to share with you. And these are just like last important pieces of information or guidance that Spirit wants you to know regarding your April 2022. So that's what this reading is going to be all about, and how we will go about it. So yeah, but with that being said, let's just get into it. So we're starting off with shadow. Wow, we also have solitude. Oh my god, and we have suffering in silence. I just noticed we have all 9s. We have number 18, which reduces to 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. We have solitude, number 9, and then we also have this suffering in silence, which is 9. So the number 999 might be a very important like angel number for you, or you may be seeing the number 9 a lot in April, or it just may have like some sort of other significance for you. But it's clear to me that whenever you see 9s in your surrounding in April, I definitely feel like your spiritual team is by your side, or they want you to know that they've got you, that they are supporting you, and that they are looking after you. Now, the first thing I want to say is that please don't be scared by the cards. Just because they are sort of more maybe dark, maybe more like heavy, it doesn't mean that your April is going to be like shit and like a complete nightmare. Please don't be like freaked out about it. I just feel like you will likely be faced with some fears, or with some like internal worries, or something that kind of like just brings about thoughts of like hesitation, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of like insecurity, or any sort of just like disbelief in yourself, or disempowerment, or something like that. And the reason why I feel that this is happening is because I feel like it's really important for you to sort of work through some of those things, to become aware of those things. Like first and foremost, I feel like you need to become aware of those things, and that's why sort of spirit is bringing them to you. And I'm actually like, now that I'm looking at these cards, I'm really not surprised that you chose the pile specifically with selenite, because selenite is such a spiritual stone, and it very much like is tied to the higher level chakras, the third eye and the crown specifically. And it kind of like connects you to the divine. It connects you to your spiritual team, and allows you to like receive messages, and allows you to be in that sort of quiet space where awareness is brought in, where channelings are brought in, and where you receive these insights that are not found in your external world, in your surroundings. And so I feel like that's the reason why these more like introspective, more quiet, more like solitary energies are coming out for you in the month of April. And I feel like it's because clearly spirit has something very important to tell you regarding how to sort of move further, or how to like what steps to take, what sort of changes to make, like what needs to change for you to be able to move forward in the best way possible. Because with this suffering in silence, I almost feel like there is something that you have been quietly enduring, and I feel like this energy is talking about something that has already been like sort of consistently like underlying, or something that you have been dealing with for quite some time, possibly for like several months, if not longer. And I feel like the universe is almost saying like it's time to sort of break out of that now. It's time to do something about it, rather than just like sitting in this energy and allowing it to be, allowing it to control your life. I feel like now in the month of April, it's almost like the universe is taking some necessary steps for you and putting you in this space where you're almost like forced to look at those things, to look at the things that are causing you dissatisfaction, to look at the things that are feeding into your fears, or feeding into the sort of negative emotions and the negative impulses that keep you sort of repeating that loop, or that keep you repeating those patterns and repeating those experiences. And that just kind of keep you stuck in some way. And I only like I seriously feel that it's mostly only tied to the fact that you don't really like see those patterns very clearly, or that you haven't really noticed and you haven't been made aware of the choices that you make, or the sort of habits that you have, or the patterns that like kind of lead you maybe, or that again feed into that feeling of dissatisfaction, or that feeling of like disappointment or unease, unrest, like all those kinds of things. So yeah, I mean, I know it's not like an exciting thing to hear, and I know that no one really wants to do like shadow work, and no one really wants to spend their time like going through their own emotional baggage, or their own like psyche, or like repressed emotions and repressed feelings and things that kind of keep you in that space that you know, that like that cause negative emotions to surface. And yeah, like you kind of get the point. You get the point of what I'm saying, but I feel like it's just super necessary, because I feel like especially right now we are in this time where, like astrologically speaking, it's like the best window of opportunity to make lasting, like super meaningful and big changes in our lives, to break out of like old patterns and old like stuck cycles that have been keeping us in the space where we keep reliving the same scenarios that are not making us happy, and that are keeping us like in that disappointment. So right now it's like the best time to actually make the changes necessary to leave that space, to break out of that space. And that's why I feel like your focus is going to be on those sort of doing that like inner work, focusing on those things and shining light on those things. So yeah, again, I hope that it's not like too disheartening to hear, and I hope that you're not too disappointed that it's not like sunshines and rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and that kind of thing, because I feel like it's something that we all are super like looking forward to, especially when we get into spring and we start the astrological year, the new astrological year with Aries season, which we are actually already in as I'm filming this. But yeah, I mean, this just feels like a very crucial step that you sort of need to go through, that is going to be laying down the groundwork or the foundation for like making that sort of like those butterflies and rainbows and all of those beautiful emotions, or not emotions, but you know, all of those beautiful things, to make them sort of come about in your life moving forward. So anyway, yeah, very spiritual month for you, definitely, and very supported by spirit as well. I do want to say that I feel like spirit is definitely looking after you, and your spiritual team is keeping very close. But anyway, so let's look at the specific areas of life now. We're going to look at your work and finances. We're going to look at your relationships, both platonic and romantic, and we're going to look at your general well-being in the month of April. Okay, yeah, so we're starting off with the Devil, and we have the Star in reverse. We also have the Two of Pentacles and the Son of Pentacles, which is like the Knight of Coins or the Knight of Pentacles in this deck. Okay, and finally we have the Father of Swords in reverse, which is like the King of Swords, and we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so wow. Okay, pile two. So let's start off with your work and your finances. And as soon as I saw the Devil come out, I just felt like, okay, it's clear to me that when it comes to your work or your finances, that seems to be probably one of the most significant areas of life that is causing this suffering in silence energy, or this dissatisfaction with life. Because like whenever I see the devil, and especially in the context of like employment or career, it definitely feels like there is some sort of like tyranny or level of like control or level of suppression, level of like just feeling almost like disempowered or powerless to express your needs and express your feelings, your wants, your wishes, your desires, like those types of things, because it's like those things are not really being heard, or they are not being regarded as important or as valuable. They are not really paid attention to, or even given space to be expressed. So it definitely feels like someone is having a lot of power over you when it comes to your work or your finances. It could be that you are working in some sort of job that you don't actually enjoy, that you feel very much like weighed down by, or where you almost feel like trapped. But it could also be that, like, especially if this feels a much more specific scenario, but like if you are not necessarily working anywhere and you have a spouse, or you have like a person that you live with, or if you're in a significant relationship and you are living together and you also have shared finances, then I feel like that that source of like suffering or dissatisfaction may be coming from like the other person in the relationship ruling over the finances, or sort of having control over your spending, or having control over your finances somehow, and sort of like keeping you trapped in that space where you don't really have that much control over like over your own life in that sense. But again, that feels much more specific. So yeah, it just feels like there is something very like disempowering when it comes to your finances or your work. And I feel like in the month of April, this is going to be made even more clear to you, or even more prominent. I feel like the level of intensity is going to be cranked up. And I know that it may sound, again, I know that it may sound disheartening, but with the star in reverse being here, and I mean, both of these cards are major arcana cards, and you also had these major arcanas come out as the general energy here. So I do feel like Spirit has a very concrete, very specific plan for you. And clearly this plan is to make you see, make you aware of those things that are taking away from your joy of living, taking away from your freedom of having the kind of life that you want to live, being you, being expressive, just having the experiences that you want to have. I feel like there is something so incredibly confining with the devil here, and again, so very disempowering. So take it as it resonates, whether this is a spouse who controls your finances and your spending, whether this is a boss who is like a complete tyrant and who just like walks all over you, and who gives you tasks that you don't want to do, that you're not like trained to do, or that you don't feel comfortable doing, whether this is some sort of like space of like, or group of colleagues that are like either bullying you, or that are sort of acting in a not like a disrespectful way, or you know, whatever this is, I feel like this energy of dissatisfaction, especially with the star in reverse, of like feeling so strongly that this situation that you are in is making you unhappy, that it's not fulfilling for you, that it's not allowing you to be who you are and how you want to be, I feel like it's something that you will start feeling much more strongly in the month of April. So just be ready for that, just be prepared for that. And again, it's something that I feel like the spirit is going to be supporting you through this. Spirit is going to be with you. And again, it's just to sort of push you over that edge of like not suffering, like how should I say it? Like not staying stuck in that space that is making you this unhappy, that is making you this dissatisfied. You know, because we all have this tipping point, right? We can take a lot of crap and we can put up with a lot, but at one point it just becomes too much, and that like straw that breaks the camel's back is usually the point where we finally decide to change the situation, to change our circumstances, and to do something about it. Because changing and putting us through the discomfort of finding a new space and creating a new reality for ourselves is better than being in this like unbearable space, right? It's like which discomfort is worse? And if that point arrives where the discomfort of staying where you have been and putting up with the kind of shit that is being given to you is worse than the discomfort of actually changing and putting yourself into the unfamiliar, into the unknown, then that's where things can actually start becoming better, right? When you get to that point. And I feel like that's exactly what the universe is doing here. So again, even though I do realize, and trust me, I completely feel for you, pile number 2. I know that it's shit. I know that it's not nice. I know that it's not comfortable and pleasant and enjoyable to go through it. But I feel like this is the universe looking out for you. This is the universe having your back and protecting you from like going through even worse energies and even worse situations by staying in this space. So, okay. And I do also want to say that even though this is going to be made even more apparent and even more highlighted for you, this like unbearable space, it doesn't mean that like you have to leave it behind. I do realize that it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of guts to put yourself in something that you have never been in before. It takes a lot of guts leaving behind the things that have sort of like kept you safe, so to say, right? Even if that cage is horrible and like abusive or confining or anything like that, it's still a cage that is like keeping the outside away, right? It's still keeping you safe in that space. And I mean, we can get so attached to the sense of safety. And so I completely understand. And it's absolutely within your rights to stay there. If you feel that you're not ready, if you feel that it's too scary to leave, it's absolutely up to you. You are the master of your own life. You have free will and you get to make the choices that you want to make. But I definitely feel with all of these major arcana here that Spirit is kind of intervening. Spirit is making some bold moves, some pretty significant moves to sort of get you to a better place where I feel like you actually want to be as well. But this is the unpleasant part of the journey that needs to be gone through. This is that threshold that needs to be crossed so that like all of the better energy and the better reality can start forming. So that's just what I feel for you, that you kind of need to be ready for. But anyway, that's the work and finances part here. And that's kind of like what I feel very overpoweringly. So I'm not really getting any like specific messages necessarily. I just feel like the underlying energy here. So I'm gonna kind of leave it at that for now. But let's move on to your relationships. Now we have this Two of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Pentacles. And I definitely feel, especially with the Knight of Pentacles being here, that you may experience a kind of like slowing down when it comes to your relationships or your social life. Because with the, I feel like with the Two of Pentacles here, it almost feels to me like you're trying to sort of keep too many things going, or you're trying to like keep everyone happy or like please everyone, and it just feels like you're trying to do too much, like you're trying to balance all of this stuff that is clearly happening in your workspace, in your career, with your business, or with your colleagues, with your finances, stuff like that. I feel like you're trying to maintain the relationships, or like keeping the people in your life happy whilst you are experiencing that. And I feel like it's a bit too much for you to handle. And that's why I feel like with this with the Son of Pentacles or this Knight of Pentacles, that like there is this like slowing down, winding down energy where you start sort of focusing more on like one specific thing. And I feel like that one specific thing is actually taking yourself into a better place, because we have this like crescent moon like hugging this pentacle on this card, and that tells me that your emotions are going to be affecting the way that you are able to speak to other people, that you are able to connect with people in a very, very significant way. And again, it's all sort of like, I feel like this is like the universe's master plan, or this grand scheme that is coming together in the most perfect way, because that's exactly what you need. That's exactly what you kind of have to, it's exactly the kind of space that you have to allow yourself to have and to be in, because like otherwise you wouldn't really have time or the energy left to deal with this, to deal with starting to like get yourself out of that situation, or just like, again, even taking the first steps in like alleviating the situation, or like seeing the things that need to be changed. And so yeah, I feel like when it comes to your relationships, it's probably not going to be that eventful, or it's not going to be that exciting, because even like looking at this Solitude card here as well, which is actually like in normal tarot terms, this is the Hermit card. And it does tell me that in the month of April, the focus is just going to be more on your own well-being and your own emotional landscape rather than other people. And I feel like, again, it's very important, because like up to this point, I feel like you have been trying to do a bit too much for too many people. And it's just been taken away from you. It's just been taken away from like where your attention and your focus and your energy actually should be focused at, because that way you can actually like look out for or I should say that way you can actually like look after yourself and deal with everything that needs to be dealt with in your own life, so that you could start living the kind of life that you actually want to live. And I actually even feel with this Two of Pentacles that in the month of April, you may discover like, or you may get into a new rhythm where like you find this balance of like being there for other people and supporting other people and keeping your relationships alive and healthy, but also like not depleting your own energy too much, not giving too much of yourself. So again, I feel like there is going to be this focus on like sort of starting to make some changes or starting to become aware of like what needs to be changed when it comes to your work and finances. But also I feel like there is also going to be sorry, I don't know why I do it. There's also going to be like a harmonizing or a new balance that is going to be a new balance that you're going to be creating when it comes to how you interact with other people. So it's almost like, it feels almost like this, a part of this like reprogramming of you or yeah, I guess reprogramming is the best way to say it. There's like this upgrading version of your life and taking things sort of away from the extremes and getting them into a more like healthy medium. That's what I feel like is going to be happening. So it's almost like both of these areas will be affected for you, both of like how you what you sort of do for a living or what you spend most of your time on building or creating or like that kind of thing, and then also like how much energy you are investing in your relationships or how much of yourself you are giving away to your relationship. So there's a beautiful harmonizing that I feel like is going to be happening. But finally, looking at this Father of Swords in reverse with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and again, this is talking about your general sort of well-being. So I'm not gonna lie, with both of these cards, and especially with the Suffering in Silence energy as well, it does tell me that it's going to be quite a challenging time for you. You're not going to be feeling like butterflies and rainbows, as we already went over, right? And I feel like you kind of already know it, and most likely you haven't been feeling like that anyway if you chose this pile and if you're watching this still right now. I feel like you haven't been feeling it anyway, so it almost feels like not really like a surprise to you. But I do feel like there is a bit of a shift that is coming through with the Five of Pentacles in reverse here, because I feel like you're kind of starting to feel fed up with being in that space, being in that dissatisfied place where you feel like your needs are not being met, your desires are not being heard, your wishes are not being heard, and like I feel like you're kind of sick of being in this space, and you're sick of just kind of having to put up with everything that is making you miserable. But with the Father of Swords coming out in reverse, I kind of feel like you're probably in the month of April, you're still not going to be like 100% ready to act on it just yet, or to make like significant moves to get yourself out of that space, because I feel like you still need to, again, especially because it's the suit of swords, it's the suit of the intellect, the truth, the awareness, the like the information, the illumination, all those things. I feel like you're still not ready to like kind of to act on it, because you don't have all of the information yet, or you don't have all the pieces in place. And that's why I feel like this like awareness building is going to be in such focus for you in this upcoming month, because you first need to have like a clear understanding of like what's going on to be able to make the changes necessary. You can't really do that if you're like running around in the dark and just like, you know, winging it. You can't really do it that way. So so I feel like that's why it's kind of like, as I said, I feel like you're not going to be feeling like over the moon and like $100 million, but at the same time, there is going to be this little internal nudge that you will feel that starts almost like fueling the process of like doing this shadow work, doing this like introspection and going through everything in your life, all of the different areas and all of the things that like are causing you this dissatisfaction and that are putting you in this disempowered state, and really kind of looking at those things, really facing your shadow the way that we see it over here as well, really looking at it. And once that like awareness is built up, that's when I feel like this Father of Swords or this King of Swords is going to be turned around. And that's when you can get into this decisive mode of actually like breaking out of the cycles, breaking out of the ruts, and putting some sort of strategy in place to change your life around. Because it like this feeling of like being fed up and just having had enough, I feel like I almost feel like this is again the like spirit's doing, or like that's what is like, I don't want to say it's like inescapable, but I truly do feel that your reading, pile number 2, is very heavily like spiritually divine, what's the word? Spiritually like orchestrated, pretty much. That's what I feel like. Your month of April is going to be very heavily spiritually or divinely orchestrated as well. So yeah, I just feel like whatever happens in the month of April for you is not going to be any sort of coincidence. It's not going to be any sort of accident. I feel like everything is specifically put in place for you. All of the emotions that you're going to be experiencing, all of the experiences that you're going to be going through, all of the situations that you will be faced with are going to be orchestrated specifically to get you to this space of like, I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. Like, you've been pushed over that tipping point, or you're going to be brought to that tipping point. And so that's why I love this 5 of Pentacles in reverse, because it tells me that very important change is going to be instigated, or it's going to be activated in the month of April for you. That is starting your journey of liberating yourself, of making meaningful change in your life and taking control back over your own life. So I really like seeing that. But let's also turn our focus to these oracle cards now. I'm going to have to push those up a bit again so that we would have more space. And we are going to see what sort of other important pieces of information, or what are the sort of the last messages that Spirit has for you regarding your month of April 2022. What does Spirit want you to know? So let's start off with the first oracle card. We have, oh my god. Okay, I am actually like, I have these like jitters in my stomach right now. This feels so crazy. We have Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. I actually cannot believe that this card is here. I actually cannot believe that it says Divine Orchestration, because that's what I've been talking about this whole time. That's what this whole reading has been about. And oh my goodness, I just love seeing this card here. Like, I actually feel sort of jittery, and that tells me how powerful this message is right now. So again, as disheartening and as like scary as these messages may have been, I do believe that for some of you, maybe they were very, very difficult to sort of stomach. I feel like Spirit is saying that you are so protected right now. You don't even know. You don't even realize. Like, this is Divine's plan for you. This is all going exactly as it is meant to. Even if for you, subjectively, it feels like everything is going to shit, like everything is falling apart. If that's what this feels like, then it's clearly going exactly as it's meant to. And so I feel like even just knowing that, even just knowing that, like, it's meant to make you kind of feel like shit. It's meant to, it sounds horrible, but it's like, I feel like just knowing that it's meant to feel bad, it's meant to feel unbearable, and it's meant to be like difficult and challenging and just frustrating and all those things. I feel like that in and of itself is going to be sort of like consoling, because at least you know that it's not happening just because, or like, you know, that there is a reason behind it, and the reason is to sort of purge all of the toxicity and all of the bad stuff out of your system, or out of your life, I should say, and get you to a much healthier, much happier, a much better place. So this is spirit looking out for you, definitely. And I love that it says help us in the subtle realms, because again, is as I was saying throughout this whole reading, your spiritual team is definitely standing by your side. Okay, next we have hair, strength. Take time to make clear decisions, bring awareness and light to the situation. Okay, I am actually kind of like done, because I just love how spirit works. And I mean, I can't even like tell you how special this feels when all of the messages are sort of coming together in that way and are just like confirming what we've already been talking about, and it's just magical. So yeah, this is all about like you starting to see the truth of things, you starting to see what has previously been in shadow for you. Again, bring awareness and light to the situation, because especially with this Father of Swords in reverse energy here, and as I was saying, it's clear to me that like you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle just yet, and that's why like you can't really make the changes necessary. So that's what April is going to be all about, like bringing you that sense of awareness. And yeah, I just feel like with this strength, like the keyword of strength, again, this is being put on your path because you are strong enough to deal with it now. You are strong enough to handle this situation. You are strong enough to overcome the adversities and the obstacles and the challenges that you are going to be facing. So again, it's not like happenstance that all of these things are occurring specifically in the month of April for you. It's not like, you know, it's not like a random thing. It's because you have been built up to this point now where you are able to handle it, where you are able to take it, and where you are able to like finally push through some sort of barrier. Okay, we also have Peacock. So the Peacock, especially in this deck, is incredibly spiritual, incredibly powerful energy. So I just feel like it's further confirmation from spirit saying that like this is meant to be this massive like spiritual breakthrough for you. It's going to be like, this is spiritually orchestrated or divinely orchestrated. This is happening because the spiritual realm has been sort of working in your favor, not against you, but in your favor, to help you get to a much more like authoritative position in your own life, and to help you sort of get out of this situation that you have kind of gotten stuck in. And again, this is in no way a criticism or judgment. We all do it. It's very much in human nature to stay where we feel safe and comfortable. And so yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just Spirit's way of saying that like they see you, they understand you, they love you, and they want what's best for you. And I also feel like peacocks, the energy of a peacock is like very proud and very like confident, and just very also very like noticeable. You can't miss a peacock. Like, they are so unique and they just stand out. And so I actually love the kind of the contrast of moving from the hare to the peacock, because when like hares or rabbits in general are much more like jittery, and they are much more like scared, and they're much more like anxious, peacocks are much more like regal and much more standing their ground and just being who they are, and like flaring their tails or showing off their colors, and just sort of keeping or holding their own. And I feel like that's the sort of energy that Spirit is sort of pushing you towards, slowly but surely. That's the energy that Spirit is pushing you towards. Let's keep going. We also have Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. Yeah, exactly. So do you see how it's like, it's saying the word dream, and to me it's always like the sign that like you're not necessarily building anything just yet, you're just sort of imagining it, you're visualizing it, you're sort of starting to see and open up to all of the possibilities of like what your life could be and how it could be improved. What would your life be if you could live the dream life for yourself? And that's exactly what Spirit is helping you do in the month of April. And that's what April is going to be about, sparking that sort of dream for you and starting this like this awareness, this visualization, this just like this whole process of seeing the reality of your life, seeing the reality of your situation, and illuminating some truths for you that are going to help you sort of break out of that cage. And I know, again, it sounds so dramatic, but anyway, yeah, okay. We are closing the reading out with the Void of Course Moon card, which says nothing will come of this situation. And this to me is like the most clear message that we could possibly have, which tells me that the situation that you are in right now, this energy of like being dissatisfied, being unhappy, being suppressed, or being like just pushed into a corner, or not allowed to be yourself, or whatever other ways of like describing your situation are or is. Sorry. There is nothing for you in that situation. There is nothing that is going to be allowing you to grow or blossom or prosper, or even if there is, again, even if it is offering you some sort of sense of like safety or comfort, because again, as human beings, we can get so used to being in a state of like dissatisfaction, and we can get used to like very harsh conditions, but it's really not, it's not for you. It's not meant to be the place that like you follow, or that you keep staying in as you move forward and as you move along your life's journey. So that's why this is like the final and a very, very big, almost like a punctuation mark from Spirit, just like telling you that the feelings that you are experiencing are there for a reason, and they are clear indication that whatever the systems in place are in your life right now, whatever the structures are, whatever the norms are, especially the ones that are like keeping you unhappy, you are feeling those specifically, and they are not working for you. And that's why Spirit is finally like, you know, it's like enough is enough is kind of what I feel like Spirit is saying here. And that's why Spirit is getting you into that space too, where you feel like enough is enough. And yeah, so you are heading into some massive transformative energy and a massive like healing cycle. And again, I know that those words are kind of like so tiring to hear. I know that most people are sick of hearing the messages of like needing to heal and needing to work through things and all those things. Like, trust me, I completely understand, and I resonate with it. But honestly, this is such a powerful like project of liberation that the universe is doing for you, and I hope that you are able to see it as well, or at least even if right now it's not like making too much sense to you, or you're not really seeing it completely, or you're not seeing how like this could possibly work out, or how things could possibly change for you, or how you could possibly get into a space where you are courageous enough to like start making changes and breaking out of this cycle that you have been in. I feel like by the end of April, if you come back at the end of April and look at this reading, I feel like things will probably be much more clear, much more obvious, much more evident for you. And I feel like you'll see a lot better why this is the plan that the universe has for you. But anyway, I'm not going to drag this reading out any longer. I'm so sorry that it has become such a long rant, pile number 2. I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, this is clearly a very, very important message. And whoever this resonates with, I just want you to know that you can do this. You've got this. Spirit is clearly protecting you, clearly loving and guiding you as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, this is the beginning of the rest of your life. That's what this feels like. But anyway, pile number 2, I am wishing you all the best for the month of April. I hope that this reading didn't really scare you off. And if you're still here, if you're still watching, and if you actually got something useful from this reading, I would super, super, super appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up, or if you just left me a comment letting me know that this spoke to you. That would mean so much to me. And also, if you haven't already, but if you want to hang out with me in the future and you want to see even more readings from me, don't forget to subscribe and join our little feather tribe. And yeah, lastly, this is just an option for those of you who feel like wanting to give back in a tangible way. I also have an Amazon wishlist that I've added in the description box, and you can check it out if you feel like you want to support the channel in that way. But honestly, no pressure. It's just there if anyone wants to check it out, and that's it. But yeah, I am super appreciative of you being here and you spending your energy and hanging out with me. So thank you so much for doing that. But that's it. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves. Be super, super gentle and good to yourselves. And I hope to see you very soon in my next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys chose the Fluorite, which I'm going to be keeping right over here. And let's turn our focus to these cards. So I hope that you're all doing really, really well and that you are excited for your month of April. I know that I am definitely very excited for spring. So yeah, anyway. So the way that this reading is going to go, we're going to first start off with these 3 oracle cards over here, which are going to be telling us what is the general energy of the month of April going to be like for you. Then we're going to move on to the tarot cards, which will give us a more specific overview of your areas of life. So we're going to first look at work and finances. We're then going to look at relationships, both platonic and romantic. And we're finally going to be looking at the general well-being of you. And then we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards from Spirit, which will be some last important messages or pieces of guidance, pieces of information that you need to know about your April 2022. So that's the gist and the structure of today's reading. So with that being said, let's just get straight into it. So wow, we're starting off with Temptation as your first card. We also have Movement, Choices, and Decisions. And wow, we have the Universe. I feel like the month of April is going to be quite an exciting one for you. I feel like it's going to be offering you some excitement as well, but I feel like it's almost excitement mixed in with some like with some minor forms of anxiety too. And I don't want to like, why I'm saying minor forms of anxiety is because I don't feel like necessarily fear or like those kinds of like very strong emotions. It just feels like there is this slight hesitation maybe on your part of like kind of questioning whether what you want to do is the right thing to do, and sort of going back and forth between like what you feel tempted to do and what you sort of know would be the right thing to do, or what would be the more like healthy choice. But I feel like it's almost this yeah, it's so weird. I can't really put it into words. And I do also want to warn you guys as well, because I have been struggling with my words for several days now. So yeah, I hope that you forgive me, and I hope that you can bear with me as I stumble and just constantly struggle with my words, okay? But But yeah, coming back to you and your month of April, or the general energy, it sort of feels like there's going to be a bit of a test. The universe is probably going to be testing you a bit, and it's almost this test of like resorting back to some old ways, or resorting back to some comfortable and familiar habits, and yeah, and just these sort of like traits that you have possibly been doing and keeping up for quite some time, and doing something in a different way, taking possibly taking some sort of like risks as well, with trying things in a new way, or approaching things in a new way, and giving new experiences a chance. So that's the kind of excitement that I'm talking about. I feel like it's going to be very sort of interesting for you to go through those emotions, and to go through the experiences that April is going to be presenting you, because I do feel like there is going to be a certain kind of progress that you'll be making, or there will be some sort of like steps taking you forward, or some sort of like changes wanting to come into your life and being offered to you. But there are going to be like, there are most likely going to be several different times where you'll have to decide how you go about those opportunities, or those changes, like how you want to approach them, what you want to do, whether you want to accept them or whether you want to reject them, whether you want to keep some sort of like habits alive that you've been existing in and practicing, or whether you want to break some habits, especially if you know that they are not actually good for you, and that they are not helping you grow and develop and move forward and build the sort of lifestyle that you actually want to have. It's like, it's going to be up to you to decide which way you want to go, and whether you want to make some sort of rather meaningful change. But yeah, it definitely feels like a battle of habits is almost what I want to say, or a battle of like, let's just stick with battle of habits. I can't think of a better expression. So just be prepared that you are going to be challenged, you're going to be tested by the universe, and I feel like the sort of choices and the decisions that you make in the month of April, they will most likely have quite a significant impact on the sort of the foundation that you will be laying for your future and for the upcoming months, and possibly even the whole year as well, or maybe even longer than that. But I just feel like the changes that the decisions that you're making are going to be having a rather big like effect. So yeah, just be mindful of that as we move into April. But let's look at the tarot cards now, and let's see what is going to be happening for you specifically in your area of work and finances, in your relationships, and in your general well-being. So we are starting off with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Ace of Wands. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm kind of laughing just because, yeah, the Ace of Wands, but we'll talk about it in a second. We also have the Mother of Pentacles, or the Queen of Pentacles as it is in traditional tarot. And we have the Hermit in reverse. Interesting. We also have the Daughter of Pentacles in reverse, which is like the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And finally, we have the Emperor. Okay, so let's get straight to the cards, and more specifically why I was kind of chuckling when I saw the Ace of Wands. So looking at your area of work and finances, we are starting off with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and we have the Ace of Wands. So the first thing that I'm feeling here is, as we were talking about like these new opportunities and these points of decision that you have to make, or where you are sort of faced with certain options and you're sort of forced to make a decision. I feel like one area that is going to be offering you that sort of point of making a decision is definitely going to be your work, your finances, your career, or maybe even your studies if you are still in school. Because I feel like with the Ace of Wands, there is going to be some sort of thing that like is exciting, that is like promising, that has a lot of potential to it, and that is possibly like very, very exciting and new. And it just sort of like, there is a lot of potential for this opportunity to like light you up and start something very, very exciting for you to like work on. And I feel like it's especially going to be like a really positive turn of events when you've felt like things in your job or things in your finances have kind of been lagging, or they have kind of not been quite what you would like them to be, and you've been waiting for your luck to turn. So I feel like if that's the case, if that's you, then in the month of April, there is possibly something very, very exciting being offered to you, or a new opportunity to like turn the situation around. And I also say like specifically that there will be an option for you, or an opportunity for you to turn the situation around, because I get the sense that like this is one, how should I say it? It's going to be up to you, or the power is going to be in your hands. It's almost like the universe is not interfering in this situation, or the universe won't really be playing a hand in this situation. As I was saying, I feel like the universe is going to be testing you quite a bit in April. And it's almost like they are not going to be like influencing you, or they are not going to be possibly like guiding you as much, or you may feel like spirit or your spiritual team has almost like left you in a way, or you maybe won't feel their energy and their support as strongly in the month of April. And that's all because I feel like they want you to like have full control over what is going to be happening next. This to me is like screaming free will and like personal power or personal authority. And again, it's one of those things where like spirit is not going to be influencing you, and so they kind of want to see how you react. They kind of want to see which way you go and what you choose. So with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's kind of evident that like spirit is not going to be playing a hand in your work and finances that much in April. And it kind of all comes down to your own passion, your own energy, your own actions, and the way that you use this opportunity that is going to be presented to you. For some of you, it's going to be an actual like physical opportunity where someone like asks you to collaborate, or someone offers you some sort of cool project that you are super excited about. Or maybe even someone like offers you a job. Maybe like if you haven't really had a job, or you've been looking for a job and nothing has really been like sparking your interest in that kind of thing, then I feel like April could be the month where you are presented with a job opportunity that actually excites you, or that actually interests you. But if like, I feel like for others of you, because I don't think it's going to be like a physical opportunity for all of you, for others of you, this Ace of Wands is speaking of like a spark of inspiration, or this like internal nudge that you have, or this like idea or possibility that like strikes up in your head or in your mind's eye regarding like what you can do to turn the situation around when it comes to your work or finances, or what you can do to like improve the state that you are in, what you can do to make that area sort of work for you better or improve it in some way. Right? Whether it's like making more money, whether it's getting more clients, whether it's working on more interesting projects or sort of things that actually interest you more. Whether it's about like, I don't know, changing courses or possibly even changing like universities or changing your area of study or stuff like that. It's going to be different for all of you. I feel like, you know, there's going to be a variety of like some of you getting like physical opportunities and others of you getting those like inner opportunities or sparks of creativity and innovative like thoughts or yeah, like those kinds of things. So anyway, that's what I feel like is going to be happening for you. And I also feel like this is a more specific message now, but for some of you, or even if it's just for one person, but I definitely feel like if you have some sort of project or some sort of like creative thing, or like if you have something that has been on hold, if you have something that you maybe used to work on or used to do, and maybe there has been a pause, or maybe you stopped doing it for a while, or maybe you kind of lost interest and lost the energy to like do it. I feel like in the month of April, you may actually rediscover this sense of like joy or this sense of enthusiasm, and you may sort of start doing it again, whether it's some sort of like creative outlet for you, whether it's some sort of passion project, whether it's some sort of hobby, or whether it's even some sort of like side hustle or side business that you maybe sort of kept going for a while, or that you were trying to build up at one point but that you kind of stopped. So in any case, I feel like April is going to be offering you an opportunity to bring fresh new energy into something, or to start something very, very exciting. But again, this is kind of the first hurdle on your path, or the first sort of junction or like doorway where you get to decide how you handle this situation, and where you are forced to make a choice whether you want to go ahead and give this new thing a go and see where it leads you, or whether you want to stay where you are and sort of keep going as you are going. It is completely up to you to decide. Again, Spirit is not going to be interfering. I feel like Spirit is not going to be showing you sort of what to do and which would be the right thing for you to do. So this is kind of like the first test that Spirit is going to be is going to be playing you. That's definitely what I feel. But let's move on to your relationships now. So we have the Mother of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles, and we have this Hermit card coming out in reverse. So the first thing that I was feeling so strongly is that I feel like you will be sort of feeling this desire, or feeling this almost like yearning a sense of support, yearning a sense of like someone being there for you, someone looking out for you, someone taking care of you, and someone being that sort of shoulder to lean on, like you can see on this image as well. I feel like you'll be sort of feeling this desire to have someone like take care of you, someone look out for you, someone kind of offer you some sort of like more tangible support. Because especially with the Hermit coming out in reverse, I kind of feel like you have been possibly like doing your own thing and handling your own stuff very, very well for a long time, especially if you have been single, or if you have been like not very invested in like relationships, especially like romantic relationships. I feel like April could be a month where you'll start feeling like this desire crop up in you, or almost like you kind of want a change now. You're kind of tired of handling everything yourself and constantly like being there for yourself and looking after yourself and doing all of the self-care stuff and handling your own emotions and everything that goes into like being single and handling your stuff by yourself. April is probably going to be the month where you feel like, okay, I could do with a change now. Okay, I could do with like someone being beside me. But again, I know that not everyone wants a romantic partner, not everyone wants a relationship, and that's absolutely fine. So you may just feel this sense of like yearning for more support, yearning for more attention and care from your friends or from your family, from your siblings. Maybe even your children if you have them. So it just feels like there is going to be a certain button that is going to be pushed for you where you start yearning for that like human interaction, human connection, especially physical connection is a big one I feel like, but also emotional. But because this is the suit of pentacles, I most strongly feel that there is going to be a yearning for that like physical sensation or physical touch, and physical closeness as well, that intimacy. But definitely for some of you, this Queen of Pentacles may actually represent a person coming in for you, or a person playing a big role for you in the month of April. And even though this is the Queen and sort of, I haven't really addressed it so far, I've just been talking about the energy and how it could possibly be talking about you. It doesn't mean that like you or this person has to be female. This is just the energy, okay? And we all have feminine energy within us, just like we all have masculine energy within us. So this is not gender based, this is just the energy. And this is that like nurturing, wanting that closeness, that intimacy, and that like being taken care of and taking care of someone else as well. So coming to that point more specifically, it could be that in the month of April, either you meet someone or this is a person that is already in your life and that you already know, but that they will be like playing a bigger role for you, or they will have a more prominent role for you in the month of April. And it's very possible that some of you may have the opportunity to finish your singlehood, or to, again, like start something new or start something exciting, start a new relationship with this individual here. Because again, and even if it's like not someone new in your life, and even if it's not even like, I don't know why I keep saying even 100 times, but even if it's not like a romantic interest or a connection and it's just like a friend, or it is just a family member or something like that, because remember, we're also looking at platonic relationships, not just like romantic ones. This person, I feel like, just wants to sort of take care of you and just wants to like look after you, and just they just want to like, they want to nurture you is pretty much what I feel like. So I don't know, it just feels like when it comes to like relationships, it's almost this like very sweet and very gentle and very soft energy, where I actually feel more strongly that this yearning of support is going to be probably resonating with a lot more of you than this like other individual wanting to like nurture and take care of you. But again, take it as it resonates and see how it plays out for you. But there is definitely an element of like closeness and emotions being offered, care being offered, attention being offered, and this just wanting to connect. So whether this is coming from you or whether this is coming from someone else who wants to connect with you, there is clearly going to be an element of like connection, coming together, and just nurturing this relationship that you have. Again, romantic, platonic, new, old, whatever it is, there is clearly this gentleness here. And I even want to say, because I'm looking at this temptation card, which is the devil, and it's kind of putting me into this more like sexually inclined mindset a bit. So it could be that a person who maybe you've previously viewed as just like a friend, or as just a colleague, or as just a neighbor, or whatever, just an acquaintance, someone you know, it could be that there is like potential for this relationship to develop into something more close, more intimate. And just as I was saying it, my crown chakra started like pulsing, or I can feel it. I got like this little nudge in my crown chakra. So that's definitely true for some of you. So just be mindful of that. You could sort of get this urge to like connect with someone physically, and it may push you to take some steps in like developing a certain relationship that maybe was platonic before, and it may push you to develop it into a more romantic one. Or even just like friends with benefits or that kind of thing. I don't know. But it, yeah, it definitely feels like there is going to be some sort of like sensuality in play in the month of April, and some desires and some yearnings and some physical affection or physical connection, especially with the Hermit here. It's just like, this just feels like I've been hiding in my shell, and I've been like staying away from people for way too long. I'm sick of it. I want to go out and mingle. I want to have attention. I want to connect with someone and just have something like meaningful. So this might be the second sort of like decision point for you that the universe sort of like puts on your path, where you get to decide how your relationship with someone develops, or whether your relationship with someone develops at all. Like, you may want to keep it where it is, or you may want to give it a chance and explore where that goes, or where that leads you, where that ends up. Especially if it's someone new, right? Especially if it's someone new. So yeah, you kind of get to decide whether you want to explore that or whether you want to retract back into your shell. But I more strongly feel like the temptation, the urge to like connect is going to be a lot bigger. But I do actually, okay, this is a very specific warning that I'm just feeling. I do want you to be very mindful of the choices that you make, because I feel like your desires are going to be flared up in the month of April. And again, you're going to have to decide whether you want to like keep something as it is, or whether you want to like, whether you want to try something new. So it almost feels like you're going to kind of have to battle with your impulses a bit. And those impulses may just be due to like, or in the spur of the moment, and they might not be something that actually lasts. So especially for those of you who like have some sort of friendship or have some sort of like established relationship with someone, and that you may like, how should I say it? And if you suddenly like feel that you want to like maybe connect with them physically, or you want to sort of take it to a new place, it might be something, it might be like this desire that actually won't last, and that will probably like, well, I shouldn't say probably, that I should say that may potentially die down in like in May already, or in a few months. So I just want to sort of say, especially with the universe here, that I feel like, as I was saying before, your decisions have a very big impact this month. They will lay a foundation for like how the future months and how your year and how your life is going to be progressing from here on out. So just be very mindful of that. If you don't want to mess up this friendship, or you don't want to, or you're not sure whether your feelings are actually genuine and it's just like this spark of like desire, or spark of like boredom, or whatever it is, just because you want like this physical connection with someone, just think of the ramifications of that step. Think of the consequences, where that choice is going to lead you, and whether that's the kind of consequence that you actually want. Okay, so that's just a bit of a warning for you to be mindful of your desires and those impulses, and not to just like sort of like get swept up in them and act rashly in the moment, but also consider where those things will lead up. Like, what sort of results are you going to be reaping because of those choices? Okay, and whether that's actually worth it, whether that's actually something that you want. So be mindful of your physical senses in the month of April. Wow, that was such a mouthful. Okay. So let's move on to your general well-being in the month of April. We have the Daughter of Pentacles in reverse, which is like the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Emperor. So looking at the Emperor, this is such a strong and like masculine and just very, very sturdy and very controlled energy. So I feel like for the most part, you will probably be feeling quite like secure, quite confident, quite decisive, quite like quite powerful as well. I feel like, especially if like in the previous months, maybe you haven't felt as like sure of yourself or as confident or as willing to make decisions. I feel like in the month of April, you will feel a lot more empowered. You'll feel a lot more sort of in control of things. And I feel like it's also because of everything that like is happening in your other areas of life where you kind of feel like things are more, or like you are more so running the show and you are more so having influence and impact over what is going on in your life and what is happening. So it actually feels like you will be in a much more empowered state and in a much more bold state. But again, the Emperor is a card of Aries. It's Mars energy. And because we are currently in Aries, we are in Aries season. And so it kind of almost like makes sense that this energy is coming out, because whenever Aries season comes around, especially because it is the new beginning of the astrological year, people start feeling more energized. People start feeling more active again and more assertive and more daring. Aries is very daring, and it's that, because it's that Mars energy, it's that fiery, impulsive energy. It's the kind of energy that like first does and then thinks. So again, I feel like it's something to just be mindful of. You may feel so sort of like bold and so ballsy that you may end up making some sort of decisions that haven't really been too well thought through, especially with the Page of Pentacles here coming out in reverse. The Page of Pentacles is like very meticulous, very much like focused and considerate and tuned into what they are doing, what they are thinking, and what their steps regarding whatever the situation is for them should be. But when it's coming out in reverse, it almost feels like a bit like inconsiderate or a bit hazy or distracted, or like not really having their head in the game. And so again, I just want you to kind of be mindful of like feeling too empowered or feeling too confident without like actually giving thought to all of the different nuances. And again, like giving thought to the consequences that your actions have, because the Emperor, it is the masculine counterpart of like the Empress, right? The Empress is the feminine, the Emperor is the masculine, and the masculine is the one who does the masculine is the one who takes action, who creates change, who like expresses or exercises their will in some way. And so it's like, it's just something to again be mindful of, that you are going to be more in that space and you are going to be more inclined to like take certain steps, which again I feel like is going to be necessary, and that's what your month is going to be all about. Like you taking some steps, you making changes, you going through like different sorts of like decision points, or basically like you choosing your path forward or the next moves that you want to make. And so I just feel like be mindful that that's the sort of energy that you will be in, and that you'll feel very much like pulled into making some moves, making some concrete like changes and taking concrete steps. So just be mindful of like not losing yourself in that process, or not losing yourself in that like hasty Mars energy of just like wanting to jump into situations head first and then seeing what happens, right? Because again, there is a lot of power in you, especially with the Emperor. The Emperor is reminding you that there is a lot of power in you, and there is a lot of power in your actions and the decisions that you do end up making. So, wow, very interesting reading. I mean, yeah, seriously, I feel like your month of April is going to be quite a roller coaster and quite an experience. Very, very exciting stuff either way. And however this is going to be playing out, however, like whatever decisions you end up making, I feel like it's going to be quite a ride, pile number 3. But anyway, so those were the specific areas of life that I was feeling for you. And we are now going to be looking at the last oracle cards that Spirit wants to sort of talk to you about, or yeah, the last pieces of information that you need to know about your April 2022. Okay, interesting. We have Minta Khan. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers is the first energy that is coming out for you. So it's kind of interesting because I'm looking at this longing for home keyword and this belonging too. And it does feel like the month of April and all the choices that you are going to be faced with are sort of possibly triggering this feeling of like you wanting to find the best place for you, or you wanting to discover some sort of just some sort of space where you would feel more at home, where you would feel more secure and more happy with the way with the state of things. And so clearly there is going to be like different opportunities presented to you to take you there. But I do feel like it really comes down to what you want to do. And even with this original light workers coming out here as well, this process that you're going through, it may actually be like taking you closer to your some sort of like spiritual task or your spiritual mission, or like what you're meant to do here on this planet. Like I don't know, it almost like, I almost got the sense that it could be like a, not like a spiritual awakening necessarily, but some sort of like ascension process that you'll be going through, especially because, again, as I said, I feel like the universe is going to be testing you, and you may feel tempted to do certain things the same way that you've always done them, versus like experiencing something new and growing and developing in like new directions, and opening up new cycles for yourself, right, with the universe here. So I feel like these tests that the universe is putting in your path, you actually have the opportunity to like close some more unhealthy or more unproductive habits or cycles out for good, and actually begin some like really, really beneficial ones, and ones that like get you to where you actually belong. But let's keep going. So moving on, we have, wow, whale. Tenderness, show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven. Wow, okay. Yeah, so this tenderness and compassion, this is kind of like the page, no, sorry, not the page, the Queen of Pentacles energy that that I was talking about. This like exactly that gentility, that nurturing, that like caring quality. And so yeah, I just feel like the universe is sort of urging you to focus your energy on allowing yourself to make, like, how should I say it? To like make more mistakes, or allowing yourself to go through your journey or go through your path the way that you feel like you need to go. Because especially with this temptation, it's almost like, I feel like you have had a lot of like self-control, and you have I also feel like you have a lot of like self-discipline when you need to or when you want to. And it's like, don't lose sight of that. Like, feminine aspect as well, especially because of the Emperor, which, as I was saying, I feel like you are going to be so heavily in that like masculine, assertive and like willful energy. So just be mindful that you don't like forget about that feminine aspect as well, and sort of balance it out, because it could be very easy, again, it could be very easy to slip into a place where you start making like hasty decisions and hasty moves that could like cost you something much more valuable in the future, or cost you something that you don't actually want to lose. So yeah, I just feel like this is almost like a reminder to keep that feminine energy also at the forefront of your mind as you are making these decisions. Show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven. So yeah, it seems like there's again, there could be some decisions or some again, as I was saying, like with in relation to someone specifically, there could be some decisions put on your path. So so just keep that in mind. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. We also have horse. Okay, interesting. Whenever this horse card comes out, to me, it's like it's screaming freedom. And it's, again, it's very, very masculine energy. It's just like, it's so powerful and it's so beautiful and it's so like in control of its life. And I feel like it's exactly like April is basically going to be the month for you where you get to decide the kind of experiences that you want to have, what you want to do, and it's almost like the door is wide open for you, and like all is available to you. But it almost like, because again, we have this crescent moon on the forehead of this horse. And so I keep getting like dragged back to this aspect of like feelings, and this aspect of like undercurrent emotions, or like, especially even here as well, because we have all of this water, this see-through water, and we had this whale card here again talking about water, and we have this earth element coming through here too. We have earth here and we have earth here. So I feel like it's constantly like reminding you of the of like the association of like all of the tangible physical changes that you're making. Consider like what it is going to mean to you in an emotional sense, and whether it's in accordance to where you want to go, what sort of emotions you want to experience and live through and have. So just like, I feel like keeping it at the forefront of your mind of like what you are striving towards, and like keeping your emotions, and not only your emotions but other people's emotions sort of in focus as well. Just like remembering the fact that whatever you do has consequences and impact on other people as well. You're not living in a vacuum. So yeah, I just feel like remembering that what sort of like how much power your actions have is kind of what the universe is really bringing into focus for you in April. We also have Wombat Spirit, be at home. So yeah, I kind of feel like this is that like borrowing energy, or wanting to like swathe yourself into some sort of like blanket, or wanting to make yourself feel more cozy. So I definitely feel like that is this nurturing energy that I was feeling with this Queen of Pentacles here. A lot of feminine energies coming through from these oracle cards. So yeah, I'm kind of finding it a bit interesting that that's the contrast that we're getting here. But again, generally speaking, especially next to the horse here, I feel like the Spirit is sort of putting you in a space in the month of April where you will be much more in charge. You will be much more like the boss of your own life, and sort of in a seat of power, in a position to like sort of create the kind of life that you want, and really make some meaningful changes to take you to this space where you belong, and where you feel more happy and more fulfilled. Okay, and we are closing the reading out with the South Node card. Don't let your past hold you back. So yeah, again, this is what I feel like, actually it's such a perfect way to again finish the reading, because I feel like this is again Spirit's way of like making you more mindful about the choices that you make. Because yes, of course, you have the opportunity to stay where you are, to keep choosing the same things over and over and over again, but just consider whether those decisions and those choices are actually taking you to where you want to go. And so I feel like that is probably one of the most important things to keep in mind, and that Spirit really wants you to focus on. Not getting lost in that power trip state and sort of focusing on like what the end goal is, like where you actually want to end up, who you want to become, what sort of life you want to live, what sort of relationships you want to have in your life, what sort of career prospects you want to explore in your life. Because it's all kind of open for you in April, and it's all sort of down to you and down to the choices that you decide to make and the ways that you decide to handle these situations that are being presented to you. So again, if you just remember that basically the month of April is going to be this huge exam or this huge test that the universe is going to be throwing your way, if you go about it with heart, if you go about it in like a very considerate and like truthful way, remembering where you want to go, what your aspirations, what your goals, what your desires are, and like, I mean, the true desires that actually like fuel you up and that are the sort of the passion for like long-term results, not just like in the spur of the moment sort of impulses, right? If you keep those sort of like deeper sort of yearnings and emotions and intuitions and those types of things at the forefront as you are making these decisions, then I feel like you will be solid. You definitely have some amazing opportunities to make really, really significant changes and to start laying a really cool foundation for your future. So yeah, just I hope that this reading at least gave you a sense of like how much power and weight your free will is going to be having in your life in the month of April, and it seems to be a rather significant month for you in general. So very exciting stuff. Thank God that we made it to the end, and even though again I can already feel myself, my words are starting to go, I'm starting to struggle with expressing myself, and I feel like yeah, it's I'm sort of getting drained now, so it's really probably best to close this reading down now, or close it out, whatever the right expression is. So wow, pile number 3. I hope that you are as excited about April as I am for you, because it's definitely looking really, really cool. But anyway, please let me know how you felt about this reading, how this resonated. You can give me a thumbs up if this spoke to you. You can also leave me a comment down in the comment section, and yeah, just telling me that you are excited about April. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you join our little feather tribe. If you enjoyed my energy and you want to do further readings with me as well in the future, I would love to have you here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only last thing I want to say is that if you actually got something truly meaningful, or you feel like the readings that I do here on my channel truly serve a purpose in your life, and you want to sort of give back in a sort of more tangible way, then you can go into the description box. I have added an Amazon wish list there, and yeah, that's one opportunity for you to like give back to this channel. If that's what you feel like doing, now you can give me a deck from my wish list that I can use on this channel. But again, I don't want to make anyone feel pressured. You don't have to do it by any means. It's just an opportunity for any of you who may want to do that. But yeah, that's it. So thank you so much. I'm wishing you an incredible month of April. Oh my god, I can't speak. And I'm wishing you all the best. So please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon in my next reading. Bye bye.